guys, Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters. So in this layout, I am starting off by doing a little bit of a mixed media background. So I wasn't 100% sure where my brain was going with this one, to be honest. I knew I wanted paint, I knew I wanted paper, I knew I wanted bits of everything. And I wanted it in a vague sort of circular way. So I started off by tearing up the beautiful coloured papers from this collection. So this is the Misty Mountains collection by Kaisercraft, which is an Australian band for those of you not really sure. And I didn't be super careful or anything like that. I just ripped off some chunks, tore off some strips. I really wanted that tear effect. I really wanted it to be a little bit messy. And as you can see off to the right there, I've got some paint ready to go as well, because I know I'm also going to use some paint as well. So I'm just sticking that onto the back side of some scrap paper. The other side is actually coloured pink, I think. It's that sort of thinner scrapbook paper you can get. And I'm just using watered down PVA because I really want it to flow on and cover basically the whole strip, so I know that it will get stuck down. And sometimes thick PVA doesn't, and I was worried about using like double-sided tape or something. There'd be bits that are sort of flapping up, if that makes sense. So yeah, just chucking these down, no rhyme or reason, not really thinking about it too much, just trying to keep that vague shape in my mind that I know I want it to be a little bit like a big circle or a big round-ish shape. I was inspired by this layout from a layout I have previously done, so I'm sort of scrap lifting myself, but not really, because that layout was inspired by Audrey Yeager, I think her name is. So I originally scrap lifted her and sort of put my own spin on it and changed it a little bit, and then loved the way I had done it and am copying that again for this one, sort of. But even this one, I'm changing it up again anyway, as you do, as you evolve. So I'm mixing up my red and my blue paint to make some purple, because I don't actually have any purple paint, and just whacking it on. I don't want it to look too neat and tidy. I don't want it to be too organized. I wanted numerous shades, so I've done a little bit of dark purple, and now I'm mixing up a little bit of light purple. I didn't get out good supplies. I'm using an aqua brush, but with no water inside it. Just chucking it on. Like, let's be honest. I'm trying to get that round shape happening again. And then I pull out the gorgeous purple washi that came in the kit. It's kind of got a bit of a damask, is that how you say it? Print on it, but it's really hard to see the print. It just is a nice, gorgeous purple colour. So I'm ripping off a bit of that and sticking that down. Yes, the paint is still wet, but that's okay. Just, yeah, going to town. When I do that, I thought I was going to be finished, but I'm not happy with the shape it is yet. So I go back to getting more layers of paper and putting more paper on top, and just basically go back through. So I think I originally had ripped one of each colour. So I'm now going back through and ripping another of each colour, I think. And I'm happier with how that's starting to look, and just keep layering up over top of the paint and over top of everything. I haven't let anything dry yet. It's all still wet, just being a bit careful. Can you hear the magpies? They're going nuts. What else? Bit more paint. Yeah, I'm really focusing on just spreading the colour and trying to get that sort of round shape happening. I noticed after a little while that I was flicking the ends of the paintbrush a bit too much, in that I'm going to cut this out. You wouldn't have to if you were neater in the way you were doing it and were more careful around the edges of your page. You would not have to cut it out, but I already had thought I would cut it out, and so I wasn't being very neat with my application. And I've got fingerprints and I've got marks around the outside. So once that's dry, I cut it out. You might have noticed I put a little bit more washi tape on as well. So cut all that out, just set it aside to dry. It took quite a while, of course. I went and did something else. And then I glue that, no I don't, I double-sided tape that down. Did I glue it? We'll find out in a minute. Glue. I glue that down onto the page. Again, still just using that watered down PVA. Just covered the back with PVA and glue that down in about the middle. It's all completely dry now, so I know that that's okay. Turn it over to give it a bit of a rub, press it down, make sure it's all sealed. There's a few bits that had sort of stuck up, so I got double-sided tape for that. And then I got out my stamps. So this stamp is More Than Words Cocoa Vanilla stamp, and I'm just using the Love Heart stamps and my purple inks. Can't see all of those coloured purples, but I sort of go on the page and off the page and all over the shop. So I love the colours, but I do end up really only using 2 of the 4 colours I had initially taken out of the cupboard, because you couldn't see the really light lavender. Just it didn't show up at all, even on the really light colour. And the other colour you couldn't see was maybe the super dark. Oh, I don't know. You'd think you would be able to see the super dark one, but anyway, I only ended up really using 2 of them. So then I got out black as well, because I really did want to be able to see these hearts coming through. And I used the little black heart, just like I did with the All That Jazz layout, to pop those out as well. I just loved how that looked on the All That Jazz layout, so I did it again. So I was really happy with how that sort of mixed media background was looking. It really did remind me of how I'd done the All That Jazz layout, but at the time I wasn't even thinking of that. I was purely thinking about the layout I'd done previously in my son's album, which I think is on here. I'll link it down below. I'm pretty sure I did a process video for it. So yeah, it's amazing how, without even thinking about it, your creations can look the same and look different as other things, and you don't even realize. It's just so funny. But yeah, so once they are all done or all stuck on, I then get busy with actually laying out and embellishing the rest of my pictures and my page. So I have 2 photos. They are basically identical. They're not. They are actually 2 different photos, but I just really wanted to use them because he just looks so happy. It's in the morning, he's eating breakfast, and I think I was blowing my nose or something super mundane like that. And he just thought it was the funniest thing in the world to watch me blow my nose. And he is just cacking himself. So I took photos at the same time as blowing my nose, as us scrappy mums do, because we have to have photos of everything. And I couldn't decide between which of these I liked the best, the laughing face or the smiling happy face. They were both gorgeous, so I just decided I'd use them both. So I'm still adding layers and bits and pieces to the background at the moment, sticking in that heart strip. There's a few wood veneer that came in this kit that I'd like to try and incorporate into this layout. I love wood veneer, but I feel like wood veneer is not something you can just put like one on. I think it looks weird if there's only one, so you need to have a couple. So I'd sort of decided I'd use nearly every wood veneer that came in the kit and just go to town. Possibly may have went over the top, but hey, it's all in fun. So this is another little love heart strip of wood veneer that I wanted to include. I backed the photos on white because I basically always back my photos on white and then just have a think about what else I need to include. That little embellishment says woke up like this because, as you can tell, he's having breakfast, so I thought that was cute. What else? I've said before with this collection, I love this collection, this Kaisercraft collection. The colours are just gorgeous. I love the marbling. I love the flowers. It's just beautiful. But the ephemera pack has got quite a bit of words in it, phrases in it, not a huge amount of images. So I've been finding it a little bit hard to use without being too word heavy. But it's so super cute. So yeah, just popping everything down. I'm just using straight PVA glue for some of the embellishments because they're a bit fiddly, and I'd rather just let it dry and know that it's sticking down. Those are acrylic hearts from Corbett Creations. That little pink one I just stuck on next to the wood veneer, this is actually got a little sparkle to it, which is cute. The other side is matte pink though, so if I really didn't like the sparkle, I can just flip it over and use the other side. I've done that before when I didn't want sparkly things. I think the purple, not in this layout, I used the purple sparkles, but I think the purple wasn't all sparkly, so I think I just flipped it over and used the other side on a different layout. Just thinking, do you like my tappy thinking fingers? Choose happy. I really wanted to use that tag because clearly he is. Happy heart. I really love word phrase thickers because they make title choosing super easy. But then, contradict myself, sometimes I hate them because the actual phrases are like, just don't go with anything. This particular collection, I think, has family in it twice, which is fine. I definitely will use that. But I'm like, you couldn't even come up with a new word. Come on, people. And they're a bit bendy. When you try and pull them off, sometimes they end up with creases in them. Anyway, I sound like a big grump today. Complain. The wood veneer that I'm using here, the circle with the love hearts, actually all the wood veneer from this on this particular layout is also by Corbett Creations. She does a good job. They're very cute. They're not too thick. Sometimes you can buy wood veneer that's actually quite fat, but this one is not. It is a nice normal wood veneer thickness. Sometimes those acrylic shapes can be a little bit fat, which makes them a little bit hard to use. Mostly just because I overfill my albums, and really fat embellishments make it even harder because I already fill my layout quite large. Just bouncing back to when I said I was scrap lifting myself. I have found the layout. I will link it down below. It is called Cool Kid. So I will put a link to the layout that I was imagining and copying from myself, down below. In case you're interested, it's very cute. It's primary colour based, reds, greens and blues, using the Cool Kid collection. That's why it's called Cool Kid, by Cocoa Vanilla, I think that one is. Is it? Let me see. I've still got some in my drawer, so I'll check. No, crepe paper, sorry. The crepe paper Cool Kid collection, which is awesome. I love it. But speaking of loving it, I cannot wait to get my hands on the Cocoa Vanilla new boy collection. It's going to be awesome. I don't even know what it's called, but I love it. You can see though, having said that I don't care about, I'm not against scrapping pictures of my son on, traditional girly colour pinks and purple concepts. Doesn't faze me in the slightest. But when a super cute boy collection comes, totally want it. So yes, very excited about that. So they've done the release, I think, or they've shown the release. So I can't wait to be able to get my hot little hands on that. I've also just ordered a new cut blade and cutting mat for my silhouette cameo that I have pretty much long-term borrowed off a girlfriend. It just hasn't been cutting very well because it needs a new blade. So I'm very excited for that to arrive and to be able to show you some new layouts using some things from the Cameo, or at least have a play with some things from the Cameo. Oh, my tapping fingers again. I think I must be running out of ideas. I must be getting done lots of little clusters. Have I done oh yeah, a few more acrylic hearts. Have I put on my enamel dots yet, or my pearls yet? Just can't have a light. Oh yeah, I've done my pearls. Sorry, I got distracted talking to you about buying a new blade for my Cameo. Gotta pop a few pearls on anyway, because you can't have a layout without, you know, enamel dots as such. Yeah, I was wondering that. I'm unsure about this strip of wood veneer heart. I feel like it needs something else to add to it, so just popping a really simple little embellishment down there, nothing drastic, but just to tie that in a little bit more. Again, another word, because this collection had a lot of words in it. But I think it's working. There was enough love heart bits and pieces with the Corbett Creation stuff to work. It basically just shows you can't only buy paper and ephemera pack and be able to create a whole entire layout every single time. Sometimes you can, some collections you can, sometimes you need a few extra bits and pieces, so that's okay. That's what our stash and our collection is for. So yeah, now I think I'm pretty much done. Happy with how that's looking. A few more enamel dots here and there. And then it's time to show you, I think. So I'll bring it up nice and close so you can have a bit of a close-up at how that looks. Get a better image of that background layer, because I know that's probably a little bit interesting for you. Can see the gorgeous colours a bit better. And all the textures, which is gorgeous. So I was really quite happy in the end with how this layout turned out. I also have some close-up photos for you to see as well, because I know that that's nice to really be able to see what the layout looks like. I hope you liked it. As I said, this layout is Kaisercraft Misty Mountains, if you are interested in these gorgeous colours. I was really happy with it. Yeah, I thought it looked really cute, so I hope you liked it too. I have linked down below the layout that I was scrap lifting of myself, who I had originally scrap lifted off Audrey Yeager. Check her out if you don't already know her. She's awesome. Thanks everyone. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.